Party, People's Democratic Party, PDP, finally held its national convention in Abuja last weekend. At the convention, not less than 3,600 delegates from the 36 states of the Federation converged to elect new members into the party's National Working Committee. The exercise went on for like 2 days now, after which former Senate President Iyorchia Ayu, who is from Benue State in north-central Nigeria, emerged the party's national chairman-elect with 20 other newly elected officials, bringing an ultimate end to the tenure of the embattled former national chairman, Uche Secondus. And by the way, Mr. Secondus had attempted to get the court to prevent the convention from holding, but the Court of Appeal threw out the case on the eve of the convention. So with the successful completion of the convention, the opposition party is beginning to intensify its campaign against the ruling APC, saying it is now energized to displace the party from power in 2023. But again, the party still faces another test ahead, and that is where its presidential ticket will go to in 2023. It's a very contentious issue at the moment, and everyone will be watching to see how the opposition party handles that. But with the new leadership in place, what exactly does this mean for the future of the country's main opposition party and Nigeria's politics at large? Joining me to dissect this further is Dr. Kach Ononuju, who, of course, is a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. He joins us via Skype now from Abuja. Thank you very much, Dr. Ononuju, for joining us in the program. Congratulations on your convention. Would you say this is the beginning of a new PDP?
Yes. This is about the very, very best that we have done. We have never had a convention this beautiful. We have never done it this good. This, in 20 years, is our tightest, the most codedly cohesive convention we've ever done. I think Nigeria needed it. And so you and I had the most tightly knit set of governors deliver that which we want. Everything, all permutations have been the way they have thought about. Everything they said they would do, they did. Every single candidate that they promoted won. Every other person that was competing against the governors lost. And such cohesive unity is why a lot of us are very, very happy. Don't forget, the problem with the old chairman, Secondus, was because that was actually what you call a proxy fight. Secondus was being accused of running the party into a hole, so some governors thought. And so the best way to get rid of that hole, to get rid of the beneficiaries of that his game, was simply to cut off the head of the snake. And the minute the head of the snake was cut off, we got rid of that and all the baggage there was, and then set to build a brand new party, a brand new NWC that will guide us ultimately to 2023. And we think we got it well. We're very happy for the outcome we got.
Now, Doc, let me ask you this. You did talk about the governors and that, they're actually mainly responsible for why the convention went smoothly the way it did and all of that. But don't you think it's also a problem? Because now it appears that the governors are effectively in control of the party. And yes, it's true that there seemed to be a unity of purpose among the governors now. But later, when it comes to the issue of where your presidential ticket should go or will go, that will become a problem. Because whether you like it or not, quite a number of your governors actually have presidential ambition. So, and if you have a situation where the governors are in control of the party, will that not rub off on the egos of some top members of the party, some very powerful members of the party who are not governors? Take, for instance, people like Atiku Abubakar. There are quite a number of them, who are top members of the party, are not governors. And, some people will say this is just a recipe for a crisis that is to come.
I don't think so. It is only your perception, your mindset, your thoughts that seems to drive you to that place. You're talking about people.
I'm asking. It's not actually my perception. I'm actually asking you to explain that, because That is actually what some people think.
Well, that's why I'm trying to explain it to you. Some people were thinking about that when nobody had woken up. That's exactly the reasons why that proxy fight occurred and Secondus was removed. He was thought to be willing to sell the party to the highest bidder. And so they had to go. And these are a fresh set of governors. None of them before had ever been available for national office. So there's nothing wrong from us getting from amongst them what Nigeria wants. Young people, not those who helped to foist Buhari on Nigeria. You cannot get a man to gain two chances to make a first impression. They have, so we just want to do away with the old and get a brand new people to set purpose for a brand new country. Right now that the youths are onto separatism, the only thing that can calm the youths is to sell to them a new Nigeria. And we're not going to sell a new Nigeria to them with that which you're talking about. Powerful. Who is powerful? A man who's not in power is not powerful. A man who is in power is powerful. The people in power are the governors. And so far, they have been able to come together and shown to Nigerians what unity can bring. So I don't really see a problem with that. You might be thinking about some people. No, it doesn't work that way. Whoever is not in power is not in power. No set of young people today.
But is that the way it should be? Is that the way the party should be run by the governors?
It is the way democracy is run. Democracy is a game where you elect leaders. Those who are not elected don't wield power. So if a man who's not elected starts saying he wants to run for president, wants to run for this, and he starts saying it when the whistle is not yet sounded, that's him. When the whistle stands, when the game starts, it is those who are in power that go to power meetings. Don't forget, the governor's caucus is like a cult. And when they meet, they are the people with power. They decide for the sake of the party. They cannot meet and then throw away power that is in their hand and give that to someone else. What for? Those are just perceptions. We believe and we are very happy. That happiness you saw express itself in the unity and the cohesion that we got. We, the party members, are not complaining. Everything the governor said they would do, they have done. Everything the party said we will do, we have done. What you are thinking about is perception about some people who are not in power. How can you be able to manage power when you're not in power? How can you be in power?
But whether you like it or not, Doc, I mean, let's face it. Some people may not be holding power, but they are still very powerful. We can't deny that.
It is not true. It is when you give them power.
And they command huge followership
when you give it up, that's when you lose it. When you give up power that you have, the power people voted you to hold, when you give it up, then you lose it. But when people vote you into power, you use that power for your own advantage, you are in order. Nobody with power gives it to someone who's not in power. Today,
but remember, we're
is
talking about party politics here. But let's just go ahead. Now the convention is done and dusted, no doubt, and it would appear the way it is now, a popular candidate has emerged. I mean, all the governors are agreed on the fact that they want Iyorchia Ayu to be the chairman of the party. But going forward, of course, the issue of where the presidential ticket would go to. How do you think that is one banana peel that the party would be stepping onto, and that it would need to be very careful when dealing with that issue?
Let me help you. You may have a perception problem. We run a democracy that is based on rotation of powers. 8 years ago, some members of my party formed a faction called MPDP. MPDP voted up to 85% of the money that brought in Buhari. Buhari is president. After 8 years of Buhari's presidency, it goes to the south. And already we have separatism from the youths of the south. The only way we can use to sit those youths down and calm their nerves is to show them that their heritage is not being negotiated away. So after Buhari's 8 years, power will move to the south. And the governors have told you that. The governors are working towards that. They have done the zoning, zoned the chairmanship to the north. So I don't really think it's a problem if we get a presidential candidate from the south. I don't understand where you're getting your perceptions from. Take it that way, it's a power game. The north does 8 years with Buhari. This comes down to the south.
Yes, Doc, look, I have no problem at all. I mean, I'm one of those who even support that the next president should come from the south. But my issue is this, honestly, my issue is this. Are you not concerned? Are you not concerned, Doc? Are you not concerned when you see some senior members of your party from the north of the country, even some governors from the north of the country, who are projecting and saying that they're going to that the presidential ticket will be open and that anybody can contest? As a matter of fact, some of them are openly campaigning for northern presidency.
Good. There is nothing wrong with ambition. They're the same people who said 8 years ago that it is the turn of the north. The idea of those people forming MPDP was to say that it is the turn of the north. It became turn of the north because they spent money and made Buhari president. Is there anything problematic if after 8 years of Buhari's presidency, the governors go to Lagos, Enugu, and Asaba and said after 8 years of the north, it is the turn of the south? Is that a problem? And then they went on to do the zoning and zoned it to the north, even though those same governors you're talking about voted in a small election, voted for it to come to the north. But because the majority of the governors voted for the south, including Governor Tom, he voted for the south, and we now took the zoning and brought the chairman from the north. My brother, this is democracy. Don't also forget, we have, as a party, won 3 elections with Southerners. Obasanjo, 1999, Obasanjo, 2003, and Goodluck Jonathan, 2010. So, presidency of Nigeria is normally organized. When we now speak to the elite and say, look, we have had 2 terms of the north, our party members brought the majority of the resources to make Buhari president. It is now time for the north. People calm down. Those who you say were campaigning, there is nothing wrong for people to campaign. Everybody who campaigns for presidency is not actually campaigning to win presidency. Some are campaigning to publicize and advertise themselves in the political process. When the time comes, we will do that. So now that our governors have told you they want it that way, and they've done everything that they have said, they've zoned it to the north, the chairmanship have come from the north. You have brought in a chairman who thinks like he thinks. And this is what we want you to do. So far, we've delivered everything that we say we will do as a party. Why are you worried about the ambitions of individuals? Think about the collective position of the political party.
Well, this is not actually being worried about the ambition of individuals. We're just discussing. We're trying to dissect this and to look at the challenges ahead. And whether you like it or not is one tough issue that your party will have to deal with going forward. Whether we like it or not, when that time comes, it's a very tough issue that it will have to deal with, because we can't deny the fact that some top members of your party actually want the presidency to remain in the north. And it's one issue that the party will have to deal with, whether we like it or not. It's not about an individual.
There is nothing wrong with people wanting presidency to remain in their village for all eternity. There is nothing wrong with that. That is ambition. But we will use common sense and reasoning to tell them that Nigeria must be allowed to be inclusively available to its diverse populations. There's nothing wrong with that. Anybody who wants to keep something, the football trophy, the World Cup in England forever, bet. Because there are other people involved in the world. There's nothing wrong with going to France, going to Italy, going to USA, going to Canada, wherever it is. There are a lot of people involved in the PDP. And we practice national zoning between the north and the south. Since our party members have now brought Buhari to power, and he has done 8 years, those party members cannot eat their cake and have it. They understand it is that thing that forced us to zone the chairmanship to the north. So the presidency can come from
That's an
the
interesting
south.
angle.
It is as simple as that.
That's an interesting angle. Dr. Kachanoniju, thank you very much for joining us on the program and for sharing your thoughts on this issue. We wish your party all the best of luck, and we'll continue to monitor how things go. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On DEJI360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, and use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DEJI360, dissecting the issues.